Okay, Tamid. What's fascinating about Tamid is everything, as you'll see. I will be the first to admit, until 3 summers ago when I taught Tamid, I didn't even know Tamid was a Masechta. I was like, what, who, how, what's a Tamid? Who's a Tamid? I know Tamid's a carbon. That I know. We bring it twice a day. But the fact that Tamid is a Masechta, I had no clue. But as we'll see, the incredible part of Tamid is one day in the base of Mikdash. The whole 8 blot that we're going to learn is going to start in the nighttime, as you'll see, about guarding the base of Mikdash, and is going to take us through the other end, through the full day of the base of Mikdash. That is Maseches Tamid, which really gives you one big round view, which is great. Just one overview of Kinyan is, again, I tell Rabbi Newman all the time, we're reinventing nothing, because we do Chazara, right? You want to know what you're talking about? Wonderful, isn't that how you learn? But it's nice because it gives us the opportunity. Usually, like you're just looking to finish. Okay, let's get another blot. Let's push. The invention of Kinyan is that you're allowed to go slow. You're allowed to chazer, and you're even allowed to understand. As a chiddush that exists in Gemara, you're allowed to understand. So, if anything is not clear, ask for the guy next to you, because he's the chayra, doesn't know what's going on. So be a good friend and say, he doesn't understand. Can you just teach the word a little better? That's the avodah. With regard to writing, everyone has their own style. They say writing is good. If you want, in these Gemaras, the Gemara is printed twice. If you want, it's printed once in the back with just Gemara and no Mefarshim on the side. This is Rabbi Newman Bane Chaviva invention. The reason it's nice is because it allows you to write in one Gemara and then chazer eventually in a clean Gemara, and then you actually know it. So, just my own 2 cents. If you're a big writer, I advise to write in the second half, because then it trains you to eventually get off. If you're not a big writer and you're more like a comma, a question mark, a little jot on the side, then do what you want. Again, you'll feel it out as you go. But really, the ikr is that we should own Tamid. A few of you already did it, so hopefully it will bring back pleasureful memories, and hopefully you'll know what's going on. So let's go. Let's hit it. B'shleisha mikaimes. Shleisha is 3, of course. B'shleisha mikaimes, in 3 places. Ha-koyhanim, the koyhanim, shoimrim, guard, bebeis hamikdash, the beis hamikdash. Opening statements, we have a beis hamikdash, which eventually we'll get to pictures, we'll get to diagrams, we'll get to charts, get to all the good things, we'll get to videos, that the koyhanim guard 3 places the beis hamikdash. Before we go further, we have to ask the classical kasha, what in the world are they guarding from? Anyone? Why are you guarding a beis hamikdash?
Let's say in the Torah. I don't know why.
What do you say?
In the Torah, the question.
Good, very good. It's
covered.
Why
is he covered?
So chayr is to show covered. Chayr is to show covered, but that's the classical pshat.
I mean, that's the.
But as you're going to see, it's going to be a little challenging when we use that pshat, because as much as we're only doing it to show covered, similar to the beef eaters in London, and what are the other guys called in the Vatican City? The guys with the clown costumes. They have a fancy name also. They're not doing anything, but they're there, covered. That's exactly, Malchus. But as we're going to see, it's just, don't take covered too far. Why? Because we're taking very practical as well. So just hold that in your back pocket and let's get there. What are the 3 places? Beis Avtinois, Beis Anitois, and Beis Hamoike. Those are names. Those are hard names. And those are names that eventually over time will become fluent with saying them. Beis Avtinos, number 1. Beis Anitos, number 2. Beis Hamoike, number 3. Period. And that is your opening statement. Says the Mishnah, Beis Avtinos, in the Beis Avtinos, Ube Beis Anitos, and in the Beis Anitos, Hayu Aliyos. There were, an aliyah is a second floor. Hayu Aliyos, there were second floors. Okay, we're describing the structure. You might wonder, why are we describing the structure here? Didn't I tell you that Tamid is about what happens in a day? Didn't I tell you that Midos is about the makeup of the Beis Hamikdash? It's a good kasha, and it isn't actually so clear why the Mishnah does this here, but it does. So number 1 is Beis Avtinos, Beis Anitos, Hayu Aliyos, were elevated areas, had 2 floors. Haroivim, I don't know if this word exists anywhere else, but Haroivim are the young Kohanim. Haroivim the young Kohanim, Shoimrim Sham, guard there.
Like one upstairs?
Oh, meaning you're saying what's the connection to where they guard and the fact the elevated areas? Very good. We have to see. You're really asking, do they guard on the top? Do they guard on the bottom?
What's just the connection?
What's what sheikhs? Good.
I said four Kahan, more people to guard.
Good. We have to get there. Now, also, you could ask, Ravim, I translate as young. Why young? And what is young? Young could be, we usually, when we call someone young, what do we refer to in Jewish usually? Under bar mitzvah. But as we're going to see,
They don't fall asleep, no?
different details we might be confusing, but that is something that we're going to get to. But we have to see what young means. So that's the Beis Havtinois and the Beis Hanitzois. In contrast, Beis HaMoikad, the Beis HaMoikad is kippah, had a kippah. Shalom Revelia, had a kippah. You want to give a bracha to Anaya Kinin Chavura? A bracha to Anaya Kinin Chavura. That's the whole bracha. Revelia. I thought they're going to get more. We even got them a box. Yes. So, no. So, no, that's why I just invited you over. I tried. Okay, we'll get there. Beis HaMoikad kippah. What does that mean? The Beis HaMoikad had a kippah, meaning it had a kippah, a dome. Fascinating fact about the word kippah. You go to Eretz Yisrael, all of you probably spend time there. I don't know if you ever realized that the From Charedim actually call this a kippah. They don't know what the word yarmulke means. Israelis don't have a word yarmulke in their dictionary. It's a kippah. First time my neighbor said something about a kippah, I said, what are you, like some wax kippah from after? Kippah? What's wrong with you? What else do you call it? Yeah, what's a yarmulke? Okay, either way, Beis HaMoikad kippah, the Beis HaMoikad had a dome. Next, Ubayis Gadol Haya. And it was a large, Bayis is a house, Gadol is large. Haya, it was, period. So we just described the structure of the Beis Havtinas and Beis Hanitzos. We learned one detail, they were elevated areas. We learned a second detail, that who guarded there? The young Kohanim. In contrast, the third place is the Beis HaMoikad. We learned two details about that. It was large and had a dome. Oh, we're the old Kohanim. Stay tuned. One moment.
Why I would say by two and leave out by the third.
Oh, we didn't say anything by the third.
Right, so why only say?
Oh, okay. Good. Either way, it makes no sense. Yeah. Good. Says the Mishnah. Mamash, you just said Mukaf. So now where are we now? We're in the Bayis Gadol. What's the Bayis Gadol? It had a kippah. Who had the kippah? The Beis HaMoikad. So in the Beis HaMoikad with a kippah, the Bayis Gadol, it was Mukaf. It was surrounded. Hekef means surrounded. Mukaf. It was surrounded with Roivdin Shel Even, rows of stone. So this large domed room was surrounded with rows of stone. Why was it surrounded with rows of stone? Because Ziknei Beis Av, the elderly, Ziknei, the Zikinim, the elderly, Beis Av means the Beis Av. Beis Av were the Kohanim that were serving in the Beis HaMikdash that week. Ziknei Beis Av, the elderly Kohanim, Yeshenim Sham, Yashen means to sleep. Yeshenim Sham slept there. So where do they sleep? On the rows of stones, it sounds like, in the Beis HaMoikad. Okay, we're just getting a lot of details here. We're painting a picture. Slowly a picture should become clear in our brains. Another detail. Umaftichais, a maftech is a, anyone? Key. Umaftichais and keys, ha'azara, to the azara, biyadam was in their hands. So we got the elderly Kohanim sleeping on the rows of stones. What?
Like night watch.
Yeah, but they're sleeping.
But they have the keys on them.
Oh.
For any
Oh.
of any.
Good. Well, it doesn't sound like the greatest way to guard something when you're sleeping.
Also, why be
I'm saying time they're having robbers over there.
Good. This goes back to where we started. If the whole thing is basically covered, why are there keys in the base of You're going to see the doors were locked, by the way. Very strong. Fancy locks, only open from the inside. Yeah, definitely interesting. But yes, it is true. This is a form of shmira that they're sleeping with the keys. Why biyadam is a good kasha that we're going to see
Is it
in
outdoors or
the
indoors?
Gemara. So it's in the Beis HaMikdash. The Beis HaMikdash had a dome. Where the Beis HaMikdash was, we'll eventually see a picture of the Beis HaMikdash. It's an area of the Beis HaMikdash. So you have an area called the Beis HaMikdash, has a dome. It has rows of stones. Okay. Pirchei Kahuna. Pirchei Kahuna means young Kohanim. Young Kohanim. Ish, each person, kisasai, with his clothing, ba'aretz, on the ground. So the elderly Kohanim are sleeping where? On the rows of stones. The young Kohanim are sleeping where? On the floor. Ish, each person, kisasa, with his clothing, ba'aretz, on the ground. Says the Mishnah, Lo yahaya yeshenim bebigdei kodesh, almost explaining, what does that mean that they slept with their clothing on the ground? Lo yahaya yeshenim bebigdei kodesh. They did not sleep in their big day kodesh. What's their big day kodesh? Their big day kahuna. They did not sleep in their big day kahuna. Ella, rather, haya paishtin. They got undressed, umanichin oisan, and they placed them tachas roshehem, under their heads. Seems like a pillow. Umiskasin, and they cover themselves biksus atzman, with their own clothing. What does it mean, their own clothing? Their non-kayin clothing. Excellent. That's the end of.
The Beis HaMikdash, or
This is part of the I guess the background, we would call it, how they're sleeping, how they're guarding. So we had a lot, and this is actually a whole amid. We could break this down into two basic details. This is the way my brain, I break it down to. We break this down into where they guarded and the sleeping arrangements in the Beis HaMikdash. Where are they guarded? Three places: Beis Haftinas, Beis Hanitas, Beis HaMikdash. Once we say where they guarded, we right away think, okay, what were these three places? So Beis Haftinas, Beis Hanitas, we know were elevated, and we know Young Kehanim guarded there. Beis HaMikdash, we don't know anything much about what the guarding there, but it's the third place that they guarded. So there must have been. Now you were Medayik, Rabbi Okalika. I'm Naftali, his only name going in my brain. It's not working. Yechiel?
Chaskal.
Not even close. Shucks. Yeah, I'll get it. Give me like 6 months. But whatever. It's a problem I have in life. Anyways, I'll tell you some horrible stories. Anyways, Beis HaMikdash, there are Shaimrim are guarding there. Okay. What else about the Beis HaMikdash? Now we go into more details. So the Beis Haftinas and Beis Hanitas, we only know one detail. What detail do we know? They were elevated. They were 2 floors. The Beis HaMikdash, we have a whole picture about the Beis HaMikdash. What do we know? It's big. There's a dome. There are rows of stones around it. Elderly Kohanim on the rows of stones. Young Kohanim on the floor. What are they sleeping on the floor? They take off their Kohen clothing. They fold it up, put it onto their head, and they put their regular clothing on top of them.
What are they watching? They're all sleeping.
Oh, so what's going on over here? Very good question. It sounds like the Mishnah almost fused two different details together. On one hand, we talked about Shaimrim, and then we started going to sleeping arrangements. And what you're asking is, if they're sleeping, are they guarding? If they're guarding, are they sleeping? Could they be the same people? It would seem not. And this the Gemara is going to discuss. Now, there is a key in the Mishnah, really, that alluded to this point, which is, we had 2 words in the Mishnah that dealt with young Kohanim. 2 different words. It said Roivim, young Kohanim, and it said Pirchei Kahuna, young Kohanim. So the Gemara is going to ask that kasha, and the Gemara is going to say, choose your poison. And the Gemara is going to really answer what you just said, is that one of them are guarding and one of them are sleeping. Different ages.
They're basically just
Different ages. Why? Because those that are guarding are not sleeping. Those that are guarding, that was their job. Those that are sleeping. Why? Because tomorrow they're going to work in the Beis HaMikdash. They have to go to sleep. That's something that the Gemara is going to get to.
Like younger Kahanim?
It's maybe, but why are you suggesting that?
Isn't like more like
The word pirche sounds younger.
Well, yeah, in my mind.
Yeah, okay.
And I definitely know. I'm saying, isn't it like a right from a bachelor or something? I mean,
It-
whatever.
you're right in just translation. The question is,
So usually it's a more like
so the Gemara,
type of.
so good. The Gemara is going to say actually, the Gemara is going to say the exact opposite. But you are correct in the fact that the words are different. Meaning the Gemara is going to talk about that those that are the Shoimrim are different ages than those that are serving. And the simple shot, it's actually, I shouldn't say the Gemara is different. That's what the Gemara says. The Rishayim come along to explain that L'chayr shot is that it's different ages. What age do you work in the base of Mikdash? Not 13. Big misconception. Age? Pasuk in the Torah. It's okay. None of us learn Torah. We learn Gemara. We know the Torah through the Gemara. What age? 20. 20 is when you start working in the base of Mikdash. So what we're going to see is that L'chayr from 13 to 20, that's when they were Shoimrim. That's young Kohanim. From 20 and up, that's when they are Pirchei Kahuna. Ironically, you said Pirchei means young. Well, in contrast to Zikanim. If we have a 70-year-old guy sleeping and a 23-year-old guy sleeping, you're quite young. Okay, that is part A, part B of the Mishnah. Let's pause here. It is late. We only have 3 minutes. The general design is to start on time as much as possible, to be able to have 20 minutes for Shir, to give us 10 minutes at the end to do Chazara. Hopefully, if that works well, then at the end we could Chazar for 10 minutes. We could firstly get a little bit further. We only did about 10 lines today, but that's fine. Chazar at once together here, twice, and then tomorrow, throughout the day, find how long does it, I mean, today for sure, it'll take you about 90 seconds. In general, it'll take you 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes to Chazar. One last detail, which we have done, and we'll leave it open, something just to talk about. In the past, there have been times that I sent out a voice note every day of the previous Gemara, just reading it through quickly. Just reading it through in 2 minutes. In case when you're trying to read it, you're a little shaky, you can just quickly listen to it over and then Chazar on your own. This is a design that Amir Tashem will get to, but for now,